Thank you for coming.
Hey girl, thank you for having me. I'm good, yeah, really good.
Good. So for those who are not aware about yourself and what you do, please share.
So I am a singer-songwriter and actress from North London. Yeah.
And I've heard your singing, you're amazing.
Thank you.
So keep up the good work, you're amazing.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here today and, you know, being part of this program and being part of this platform to help normalise conversations, because it's something that needs to be done. So thank you for wanting to share your story.
Yeah, pleasure.
And, you know, let's get comfortable and let's get right into it. Is this the first time you've ever spoken about mental health difficulties that you've experienced?
No, because I've chosen to be quite open on social media about my walk with mental illness, however you want to call it. I feel like there needs to be a new term for it, but yeah, I've been quite open, so I've found a lot of people have been happy to have conversations, or when I'm, you know, doing interviews about the music, it crops in, which I welcome. So yeah.
How do you feel being open and talking about your mental health difficulty?
I feel great, because I think anyone's mental health struggles become worse when they don't talk about them, when they're not open about them. And that's actually one of the first things that I was taught in therapy, ways to tackle my problems with mental health, was to be open. So if I felt like I was about to have an anxiety attack, tell people what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if it's something really small, if I'm about to perform and I'm feeling really tense, I'll say, hey guys, so before I start, I just need a minute because I'm really, and then I'll feel a little bit better.
Yeah. So it's kind of like putting a name on it. So
Yeah.
you know the name of it and others also know the name of it.
Yeah. If it's in the back of my head, then it's showing in my face or in my body or in my actions. But then if I vocalise it, everyone in the room now is aware, and then that just takes, like my mum always says, a problem shared is a problem half. So it just breaks the tension. There's no elephant in the room, because I'm like, okay, there you go, have the elephant.
Yeah, and you're being open, honest, and just like letting people know, this is how I feel, and then you can kind of work on how you can manage that together. Especially with, you know, what you do, your music, you're performing, you're singing, you're on stage.
Yeah.
So it's good that you have kind of like a team who is aware of when you're feeling anxious, what this may look like, and the best way to support you. Do you think that attitudes towards mental health difficulties have changed?
Yes. Yeah.
In what way?
Through the help of social media, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It adds to a lot of people's struggles, seeing all of these perfect images and everyone's perfect lives and whatnot. But then also it's a platform for people to seek help, to provide help, to just normalise it, like you said in the introduction, breaking the stigma and letting people know that they're not alone, so people can see real people rather than just being fed these fake images of happiness and sanity.
Yeah, and it's funny you said that, you know, it's a curse and a blessing, because a lot of people see the curse side of things and how social media can be so bad and you know, so detrimental. But then, like you said, there's the other side where people can kind of seek help or see what people are doing, and you know, that can help normalise it. So there's that side that we need to kind of push and kind of, you know, make that be more the forefront
100%.
Rather than, you know, this perfect world and this people look like this and don't suffer from this. Do you feel that the government are supporting people with mental health difficulties in the best way they can?
They began, all workplaces have to give time off for mental health, or, you know, even if it's on the day, you can email or whatever, to give people the avenue that they can get help, more so than just a leaflet.
So when you say more channels, what comes to mind when you think of something like that? So
I'm a mum, so I always bring it back to Mumsnet.
Yeah.
Mumsnet is like, anyone that's a mum knows Mumsnet. And I don't feel like there's somewhere that anyone that has any
mental health difficulty can go to.
Yeah.
All right,
do you know what I mean?
So kind of creating that community and that kind of culture.
Yeah.
So that people know, if I'm experiencing this, I can go to this website and I can seek help for whatever it is that I'm experiencing to help me.
Exactly. My best friend, he's also an artist, and one of the lines in his song is, all my people got disturbed minds, because most of my friend circles, we all have, whether it's PTSD, anxiety, depression, whatever. And someone recommended someone with depression the Samaritan's helpline, and I just thought that is the classic example of ignorance, but also the lack of that community, that go-to. Samaritans, if someone's feeling suicidal, you know, being depressed doesn't necessarily mean you're about to kill yourself. You're just in that depressed state. Some people have seasonal depression, some, you know, and it was like, to hear someone, it's not funny, but I saw the light in that. Someone's given someone the Samaritan's helpline because they've said that they're feeling depressed, and it's just like, there needs to be a solid go-to for mental health.
That's actually amazing you said that, because you know there's something people can start working towards now that you kind of mentioned that.
You can, girl.
Okay, so let's get deeper and talk a bit more about your experience and what you have experienced. So what have you experienced in relation to mental health difficulties?
So, other than everyone saying that I'm mental, I have suffered with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, no longer, and anxiety, which is very much still part of my life. And that all began probably when I was, I'd say 16. I was diagnosed at 16, and it's been a long journey. As I mentioned, I've had therapy, so the person I am the mental person I am today is very different to the mental person I was 10 years ago. But it began, I think, from, I was signed when I was younger, and I was in the public eye per se, which ended horribly, and through my own fault, by the way. And I spent 3 months indoors, which wasn't helpful because I was depressed. I didn't want to see anyone, I didn't want to speak to anyone. I literally went from my bedroom to the bathroom, the odd trip to the kitchen if my mum didn't bring up my food, and that was literally it. I didn't leave the house for 3 months, and that obviously just heightened everything that I was feeling. And then I started therapy after that. I did 2 years of therapy, and then just started to manage it myself. I got everything that I needed from every single session I had, and learnt how to manage it myself, changed my way of thinking, which completely improved how I was living, really.
So let's take it back to when you were diagnosed with your mental health difficulties. You said at a young age. What was that like for you?
It was just words at that time, because for me it was the feelings. The labels didn't really mean anything. I just knew how I felt. They talked about my hippocampus, something like that. Hippocampus.
Yeah, I think so.
Where your emotions meet your memory, because my PTSD affected my memory. So from the ages, from most of my early teenage years, I can't remember. There was even a time that a girl after a show, she came up to me and said, "Emily, oh my God, how are you?" And I'm just looking at her blank.
Not remembering.
She told me we were best friends. We'd been on holiday together. Like, we went to Cyprus together, and I was like, babe. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
Did this play a part in how you managed when you were feeling maybe quite low or anxious? Where does the music fit into your lifestyle and helping you, if it did help you in any way?
So all I did was listen to music in those 3 months that I was by myself.
Oh wow.
I didn't have Facebook or any social media those times. But yeah, listening to music, writing poems, music is like my diary. There's that Alicia Keys song Diary, and it's so like, right now I feel like a caged bird, like caged without a key. Everyone comes to stare at me, but they don't know the misery. Like that was literally me. So I would just write. Some of my music now references mental health. It might not be that obvious, but for me, it might sound like I'm singing about a boy when really I'm singing about So yeah, it definitely plays a huge part. Music is therapy,
100%.
And they're even, exploring that.
Oh wow.
Music therapy. A lot of the time when you don't know how to express yourself, I even say to my partner, like, I'm not great at saying how I feel, but I can write you a song, like I can play you a song.
So at the time when you were writing music, what was your music about? Was it about how you were feeling at that moment of time, or how you would like to feel? What was your music kind of centered around?
Then a lot of the time it was frustration, confusion, regret. Sometimes when something negative happens as a result of your own actions, it's difficult, because I lost family and I lost friends, and I really did feel like I was isolated. So my writing became about, I was almost writing apologies, or like, it was just a mix of all the not so nice emotions. Okay.
So when you were writing these kind of poems or songs, have you released any now in relation to
No, so all of that is kind of like archived in terms of just personal release.
Okay.
But there is a song that I've written called How Can I, so I took a break after I left SONY. I took a break from music entirely. And then people ask me, well, where's your stuff? Why are you not And I'd always just say, yeah, it's coming. But for me, it's like, leave me alone. I'm not ready now. When I'm ready, I will. I don't care about fame and fortune. My mental health comes first. So for me to be, out in the public eye, again, that sounds so cringe, but that's not, a lot of people crave that. A lot of people want that. For me, that makes me...
Okay.
Yeah. So this song, How Can I, it's basically saying, how can I be an artist when I have all of this that I'm dealing with here?
Wow, yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So is it that title, How Can I, is it more of you questioning, or do you kind of find the answers, or are you seeking the answers?
No, I find the answers. So in the bridge of that song kind of explains, it's so difficult to talk about it when you don't know the song. But yeah.
Share the song?
So
a few lines from the song?
Yeah, the opening is, lights gleam off the window pane, truth hidden in shame remains in the darkest depths of eternity. The progress stumped by the fears in me. I tell myself that I'm ready for war, but the door to the store where the armour is kept is locked, so I'm under-equipped to do battle with the man in the mirror who's a sinner, so am I. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Powerful, very powerful, wow.
Yeah, it just explains, like, I'm struggling, but I want to do what I'm doing. How can I do that?
And the fact that, you can openly admit that you are struggling, but you still want to continue and do what you're doing is amazing.
Yeah.
And that within itself is therapy and healing for you.
100%.
So you should be proud that you can, admit that you're struggling, but you know you want help, and you know where you want to go with that. So that's amazing.
My mum always says there's power in the struggle. Like, she was a very, very, very tough Scottish woman, and she definitely, like, guided me through, the dark times, and just said, you can't knock a horse when it's down, she says as well. Like, your darkest points, your struggles, you can only go up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like, live it. If you're in that, it's cool. Like, do it. Have that moment. Feel that moment. Don't be scared of it. But know that when you are out, you're stronger.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like a lot of people don't realise that, or don't even, not necessarily realise, but don't know that, you know, there is healing in your struggle, and that when you come out of this struggle, you'll be stronger. So that's a good message and what you put across. So speaking of mum, did you have, when you were going through your difficult stages, did you have support, for example, family support to kind of help you with that?
So it was difficult for my family as much as it was difficult for me. A lot of family, when you have reporters and paparazzi hounding everyone, even the milkman, oh, you know Emily, let's talk to you. It creates problems, it creates friction within the family and whatnot. And also my mum, because of what happened, I won't go into detail about what happened, but I've had to fight my whole life. And I got into a fight with my best friend, and it was, someone took a video of that and said that I was part of gangs, and I was in the gang culture and yada 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 yada. I wasn't. I was part of a collective which were called Cold Soldiers, and it was a group of boys from all different parts of East London, North London, and one of the boys got killed on Essex Road, and that was in the papers. And then when they found out that I was associated with them, we were just kids that would hang out together. I'd write bars for the boys and I'd sing like when they were rapping. Harmless, we were kids. And then when they saw that, when they made the connection, and then they had a video of me fighting, Emily's part of a gang, gang affiliation, blah, blah, blah. So for my mum, who is like, well, she was a Catholic woman, like her mum's Irish, and I used to go to school and come home and help her with the shopping and cook food. So my mum opening the paper or getting called into the office and seeing that, she's like, her mind's blown. So that was really difficult for my mum. She actually had therapy as well, because she was being hounded and whatnot, and she's trying to process all of this, along with trying to process the fact that her daughter that she's watched want this dream, almost have this dream, and now it was a lot for her as well. So it definitely caused a lot of friction between the family, which made it difficult for them to support me, because they also needed support
for themselves. So you touched upon, you know, mum went therapy and you also went therapy. How did therapy help you with managing your difficulties? Not going into too much detail, but
the first thing it did, so the first like 6 months of my sessions were literally me sitting there talking. The first few sessions of that, I wouldn't talk. I would just sit there saying, this is silly, I don't understand, why don't you ask me questions? She'd say, no, why don't you tell me? And I just didn't understand it. So for me, it was coming to grips with being open and being willing to talk honestly, rather than just saying I'm fine. So that makes sense. So how can someone be supportive of a loved one who is experiencing something similar to what you have experienced? Never say the word just when you're given advice. So, just da 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 da. Or just say da 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 da. Or just do da da da. Don't say just, because it's not just. It's massive.
It's more than just.
To the person that's going through it, it's huge.
How do you deal with the stigma attached to mental health difficulties?
Don't give a hoot. That's the best. That's the best way for me to deal with the stigma. Just not care, because I put a post on social media not too long ago. My life changed when I stopped caring about what other people think, when I stopped trying to be okay, when I stopped trying to hold my tongue, when I stopped trying to look perfect, look happy, look whatever. Just don't care. Just do what you're doing.
And that is hard for some people to do, you know, to kind of forget about what people say and forget that people are going to judge them. So it does take a strong mind to kind of, you know, not give a hoot about what people are going to say. But the fact that you can do that, and the fact that you can kind of inspire others who are watching this and listening to this, hopefully will start something new for people to realise that, you know what, Emily has inspired me to not give a hoot, and to maybe think about myself a bit more, and think about my self-care and work on me, and not give a hoot about other people.
I would love that.
And lastly, how do you manage your mental well-being now?
I keep good people around me.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoy life to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about what people think of me. I shouldn't say that. What I do is try and be the best version of myself so that I can't care what people think of me. If I know that I'm doing everything with good intentions and I am trying to be mindful of how my actions might affect other people, then I don't need to care about what anyone says, because if they don't like it, then that's a problem within themselves.
So, Emily, where can we find you on social media?
So all of my handles are at @e_minor_music.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, girl.
Oh,
Thank you, babe.